T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What do you got to eat? Here, guys. Ooh. What's this say? I don't know. What's that say? I know, but I'm not going to tell. I think it says it's good.
Conjecture Hoops contains all the presumptions, assumptions, and off-the-wall postulations a growing kid needs. Conjecture Hoops, a big bowl of bullshit. Saturday morning cartoons, mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.
Please welcome Max Headshrew, Dell, Aria Blackness, and your most gracious host, Ben motherfucking Jackson. Applause. Applause. Applause.
What's up, everybody? We've also got I'm glad that you're here, actually, Jay, because we need a religious expert, someone that's actually like has experience as a cleric, leading vast flocks of followers and interpreting ancient scriptures. So we need someone like you to help us decipher what is honestly a pretty cryptic, pretty enigmatic show.
Praise soul. Praise soul.
Praise soul.
Praise soul.
Praise soul.
That's son of a bitch.
You know what's funny is they say Saul instead of soul.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
drink.
I'm guessing it's like
Well,
what? A lot of them I think have like a South African accent. Well, I'm serious because like in the end production, it's like something like South Africa Studios.
Yeah, they found it's a farm in South Africa that they did the show on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's amazing. Oh yeah, it's filmed in South Africa.
South Africa.
My favorite thing to say in a South African accent is
Right.
What-
Can someone
what
we've all
gives
watched it,
you-
right? So can someone break this fucking thing down? Because I really enjoy it, but
what gives you the rat? What gives you the rat?
You kind of got the blood diamond look going on, Ben.
What gives you the rat?
yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
He's a bit Leo.
Yeah, you are a little bit. Leo was a bit more deranged,
Yeah.
which is a lot.
I'm like a
I
less
gotta be honest with you,
handsome
I
Leo.
really enjoyed the show. I thought it was super fucking badass, and like I tried to pay attention as well as I could, but to be quite frank, there was quite a few times where I fell asleep. Not
Well,
because
that's because you
the
you
show
binged
wasn't
it
good,
instead
because-
of going to sleep at night.
No,
Yeah.
I get you, man. It's almost like the show itself, and in parts, it's almost like a bit of a fever dream, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you're not like paying attention, like I can totally see why you'd like drift off. Like,
No,
but
it had nothing to
it
do
is good.
The fact that I was watching that show, it's just like I had been awake for like 20 hours at that point. I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
finish this fucking show, and I'm like, what? And then I'd wake up and I'd be like, yeah, I'm totally on board with what's going on. But I mean, there's a lot of hyperbole there. There's like a lot of literal stuff that's cool, like fucking androids, badass. But like also people subverting mass religion to make an atheistic planet, also pretty cool. No offense.
That's what we're here for. That's
Yeah.
what we're here to talk about. That's a really interesting thing because I think the show handles it really in a very genius way because they're really critical of religion in general and they make some pretty good points. But it's also really fascinating because they make the point as well that atheism isn't a solution.
Yeah,
for a few reasons.
They're critical of the absolute rejection of any form of religion because essentially what the atheists do is they just create their own religion.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's just not called religion. Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's just science as a religion, and they're just as totalitarian. They're just as tyrannical, and they're just as like hive minded and retarded. Yeah, like, remember when Mother was in wakes up in the atheist collective, and she's like, "Where are all the artists? Where are all the philosophers?" It's like it's like changing your religion doesn't change human nature, and human nature is most of us are losers.
And they sort of replace God for what's the big computer program that they all follow in
the second season.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of dumb how she just turned it off and made it go and push them back down and turn them back on.
I have a feeling he might return, but I think what that
she didn't destroy him, right? She just literally turned him on. Someone else could turn him on, right?
I think the point of that was to show that, like,
you can be turned off.
That one guy in particular was like, he sort of cried like he'd lost a deity, like it was he'd witnessed.
Sad, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, I feel bad for this guy. But if you notice in that scene really quickly, if you looked off to the left on the floor where she pulled out like the whatever that is, like they were gone, they weren't there anymore.
Oh, so she took them probably. Okay,
yeah, I think so.
So like.
Deification is totally. I agree with it.
Yeah.
So for the people at home,
you agree with
who haven't seen any of this, like it's essentially about oh fucking hell, essentialize it, Ben, in words that aren't stupid.
Undumb it for me, Ben.
Yeah, unthick it for me. If you just if you had to sell it to someone without giving everything away, how would you describe Raised by Wolves?
Well, I think the main theme is like a critique of like group mentality in general, and it's like an exploration of the apocalyptic effects of certain kinds of organized religion, and basically just like having a closed-minded fundamentalist mentality in general. But it's also really interesting because it demonstrates that that's part and parcel to human nature, and it's not a part of any particular religion, because the atheists in the show are exactly the same way.
Sure, and it's done through the sort of aesthetical filter it's pushed through is a sort of an aliens, android, futuristic sci-fi.
So if you guys haven't seen the show, it's basically there's a war on Earth between the atheists and the what are they called?
AI cyborgs.
No. The AI and the cyborgs they're on both sides, but it's
the religion is Mithraism.
The Mithraics. There you go. So there was a war between those two on Earth, and they basically ended up destroying the Earth. And at the end of the Earth's habitability, whatever, you can't live on Earth anymore.
Yeah.
This one dude takes two fucking androids and sends them off to a virgin planet to repopulate an atheistic society. And it follows these two androids raising human children and all of the things that follow. Shortly after the show begins, the Mithraic find their way to this planet as well. And obviously there's some conflict going on.
Yeah.
Through all this conflict, there's demonstrations of the human condition, which is very predictable, apparently.
Yeah.
Very predictable.
Quite.
I think it's fascinating that Mother says that human beings can be reprogrammed.
But that's totally true. It's 100%.
Yeah, it is true.
It's tribalism, and when you take tribalism and you add a foundation to it, it becomes a religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter how you want to explain what these people are doing, it's sects of religious tribes, essentially. One of them being controlled by robots, who's this fucking psychopath.
Which one?
Mother. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your mind, is it who which side do you root for? Because I know they're both like equally have their issues, but
so
you had to root for
the show. The show is an amalgamation of all of the religions.
Sure.
So you have at the end of season 1 the Orthodox cross, which unfortunately they didn't really get into the second season. And Mithraism is just the Catholic Church today, before it's been cleaned up. And the story, I hope they in season 3, because you have the snake that eats its own tail, which ends up being an AI snake / organic snake. and they're on Kepler 22b, by the way, which is a planet which is in the Goldilocks zone.
Okay.
So this is a real planet that has real water and real trees.
Oh, right. So it exists.
Yeah, it's a real planet in the Goldilocks zone. But the premise behind it is there's an ancient culture that's already done all this already, and that is like the hidden nuance of the whole show that they haven't even explained yet.
They
like
did
I'm talking about when that dude was normal, and then the Roman ring got near him, and he evolved immediately into.
He devolves into that creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that real quick. What's going on there?
They explain the evolution thing with clearly they're advanced race, but they still haven't explained like what the fuck they are. That's kind of what I was getting at.
No, yeah. I feel like they did, like in the very last episode.
They did, yeah. So, but that was something that I was going to touch on too, as far as like you have the Mithraic and the Atheist, how they're kind of the same, but then you have this fucking omnipotent being, this super ancient AI that has come up with the quote logical solution is to devolve.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, devolve them into a point where they're just ocean dwelling whatevers, and they don't have the facility to comprehend religion. They just
so that woman, she's hot, by the way.
She is.
Yeah,
hot.
She's a thick android, isn't she?
I know. When I saw the fleshed out, I was like,
she got a crazy too. Like, shing, 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 shing.
Yeah.
I mean, they essentially go mad with the question, don't they? And they reinterpret the question to stop whatever this thing is in the earth destroying itself. If humans aren't around anymore, then it won't act.
I promise this is the only long clip.
Devolution explanation, but I guess what I'm trying to say is next season, because they live somewhere. Yeah. And so it's taken 2 seasons for us to even understand that they're devolved pre-human species.
Sure.
But like, where do they live? Clearly that one was coddling a child because the fucking chest opens.
Yeah.
That shit was that as fuck.
Like, where do the devolved humans live?
Yeah. Like, they have to have subterranean.
We haven't seen it yet, but it's one. There's one that's subterranean, and there's one that's sub. What would be the word? Subaquine. Like
they're like Aquaman. They live in the acid ocean, and they've developed the skin that can cope with the acid. And then the ones in the first series just live in the caves, don't they?
But Jay's right. Like, we haven't seen like their living quarters, right?
Yeah.
Like, because these are supposed to be devolved humans, right? Mm-hmm. And like there's even like lower evolved species on planet Earth that have like habitations that they construct, like beavers and stuff. So it's likely that we'll see something like that in the 3rd season.
I wonder if the devolved species, they're not humans, they're a form of alien themselves.
Oh.
Because they're too strong, too big, and too powerful in their second form. But when he wakes up, he immediately shrinks into the
you thinking the dude that he finds in the cave is.
I feel like there's going to be a race of them that they may be, because remember on this planet, because it's a techno planet, so the planet is alive and it's also robotic now.
Yeah, I think the whole planet is an android, by the way.
Yeah,
the entire planet, right?
Yeah. I don't know if the whole planet, because it's only that one section in the bubble that has that rooted technique, because the tree is alive too. That fucking tree scene was insane, by the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, so people turn into tree.
Go and hide. I said fucking hide.
so
Yeah.
fucking metal, dude. I love this show.
I love it so much.
I thought the snake design was a little goofy, and then it turned into that. And I was like, I retract my statement.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's like the borealis, the snake that eats its own tail.
The Ouroboros.
The Ouroboros, like Aurora Borealis and the Ouroboros. But the so I get why the snake looked like that. I did not like the mouth.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
His whole head was like, I don't know, this is goofy looking.
I assumed that was a design choice to sort of mislead you at some point into thinking
like
that
they
it was
did
like,
the super kaiju first, and then they like, how can we make the snake and the super kaiju look cool? Well, it almost looks like a squid, a floating snake squid.
Yeah,
it's designed off a lamprey, which is like this predatory, almost parasitic animal. But yeah, it was a purposeful misdirect because you're meant to think that it's a carnivorous animal. It's going to start eating everyone. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. It's an herbivore. Everything's cool. And then it's like, no, just kidding. It's still going to kill everybody, but just in a different way.
It fucking shits lightning storms. Enjoy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we keep talking about the second season. What did y'all think of the first season? I'm about to take some allergy pills. My nose is driving me crazy. What do y'all think about the first season?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it reminded me of. I mean, I just kept thinking Prometheus. To be fair, I felt like
it's Ridley Scott. Yeah,
there were some shots in it that are ripped directly from the Prometheus movie and put into the first episode. I felt like watching it. I was like, I feel like this is the sort of thing you wanted to make when the production companies were forcing him to make another Alien film, and he was turning it into Prometheus. I think he's really into his AI and his android stuff, isn't he? And,
yeah. And to clear up any confusion, I did a little bit of reading last night, and apparently, according to Ridley Scott, Raised by Wolves is not.
It's not in the same universe.
No, good, because the alien universe doesn't make any sense anymore, and I don't think like they're taking it serious. So I prefer that.
They kind of fucked it up after the second one.
They really did.
That's true. Yeah.
I like
it'd be kind of cool to have some xenomorphs come down there,
It would, but the sequel to Prometheus, whatever that movie was called, I hated that movie, and it shows that they haven't thought about the story and they don't care, and they're throwing it in.
I have a feeling that it wasn't a sequel to Prometheus; it was just another Alien film, and I think it's because people lent on him after Prometheus because they wanted an Alien film, and instead of him pushing the where Prometheus should have gone, he did it again and then went back into Aliens. But he should have just doubled down and stuck with the Prometheus storyline. It was
well, that's what everyone expected and wanted.
Yeah,
you motherfucker.
We get allergy pills here, man.
Okay.
I'm really mad about that movie, honestly. But the good news is we have this Raised by Wolves show, which is well thought out, which is going somewhere. So like everything, well, not everything, because we don't have xenomorphs, but as far as an intelligent science fiction story with a real message and a real purpose, we got that.
Yeah.
And thanks to Aaron Guzikowski, by the way. Not like Ridley Scott is probably the greatest director alive, but he's not a good writer. Like he's an excellent filmmaker, not a good storyteller.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few issues with Ridley Scott, because I think when he's given the right circumstances, he can create something fantastic. But I also think like when his movies are over budgeted and like you said, they're not written by a good writer, and he's surrounded by yes men, I think he never hits his full potential. I think most creatives really hit their potential when they've got limits. I think the limits make you think more creatively.
I think he just needs someone else to write the stories, because he doesn't understand like
anything,
like plot, like
really, Scott, if you're out there, you suck.
He doesn't understand like story cohesion. I'm sorry, but he doesn't. But when the whole story is cohesive anyway, because someone else wrote it, then he can make a great film about it.
And he's got the handrails.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah. Just kidding, Ridley Scott. We love you.
Well, yeah, in answer to your
I
question,
don't.
but I enjoyed the
I love Ridley Scott.
the first,
I'll fight you, Ridley
first
Scott.
series of Raised by Wolves.
This is no longer a Raised by Wolves episode. This is I want to fucking fight you.
Did you
Son of a
watch any?
bitch.
So the things on the bottom of the show, like the extras, did you bother watching any of those?
Mm-mm.
No.
So
No.
if you watch Ridley Scott in this, he has full fucking control of this show. It's his. Like no one dares question him. And I think in the Prometheus Part 2 film, I think he had a lot of problems with that production. I think that whole movie was completely fucking basically scrubbed from how he wanted it to how it came out into theaters.
Oh, really?
There's no way Ridley Scott would fuck up a movie like that unless he did not give a fuck and people kept getting in his way. Because then he just becomes like, action cut, let's finish.
I didn't watch it recently, but I saw an interview with him where he talks about the changes in the story of Alien Covenant and like why they took that weird left turn of just like making it like, oh, androids created the xenomorphs or whatever, who cares, fuck you. And he was like really into it and he thought that was cool. And he's like, oh yeah, that's a better story anyways. And it's like, hold on a second, you can't do that really. Like you can't just.
So he
after
changed
the
the
fact,
story.
Yeah. Or anyways, he liked the change. He was into it. So that was really disappointing for me because that completely undoes every movie prior.
I hated the second one, but he commands power on the set. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, I don't think there's anyone better as a director alive. So that's fine. As long as someone else wrote the story, which is the case.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah, and this, by the way, the guy who wrote this, he had only done one show before this. So this is like his holy grail almost for writing.
He's magnum opus. What was the show that he did before? Do you know?
It was let me bring that back up. It was a show I had never heard of, but I clearly clicked on it when I was looking him up.
Is it another sci-fi or something different?
Well, he made that show with that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Prisoners.
Is that what it was called?
That's not. That's a good film.
Creator Aaron Guskowski.
I have no doubt. But
yeah, he wrote Prisoners. Never seen that.
Yeah,
so,
it's a good film.
Okay, excuse me, producer. So it was The Red Road and then this one. These are the only.
What's The Red Road, Jay?
It is. It only lasted 10 episodes, unfortunately.
Short film.
I don't know. Oh,
is it good? Did you watch it?
It was a Sundance thing. What's that guy's name? Jason Momoa is in it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of him.
Are you kidding me, dude? Have you seen the movie? Have you seen C? The TV show C?
Mm-mm.
Bro, watch that and you will worship Jason Momoa.
He was badass in Dune, but that's really the only film. The only
Oh yeah.
I needed him in Aquaman.
Dune overall.
God, I couldn't finish Aquaman.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
I know.
Motherfucker was getting paid to be Aquaman.
It is. It's his fault.
Huh?
It is. It's his fault.
It's not his fault. It's not Jason Momoa's fault that Aquaman is terrible.
You should have had Ridley Scott powers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Ridley Scott directs Aquaman.
I do usually try to keep the clips short, but I'm going to show a little bit long one because it's the only long one left because I think it's going to
send it.
Like get us in the frame of mind to talk about what the fuck is going on.
A human walks into a bar and informs the bartender that he's reading a book about evolution. The bartender asks, would you recommend it?
The water's warmer than the air. Wish we could go in.
The human answers, yes. It's not great at the beginning, but it does get better and better.
I think my skin's getting used to the acid. Look.
Mutations detected. And better. And better. And better.
Look. Like a callus.
Yeah.
There's so much going on there.
Yeah, you don't even know what's going on in that scene.
Yeah,
unless you watch
it's always a bad day when your face curtain goes mental.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Well, that was her. That was Mother recognizing that she's about to kill or de-evolve all of them.
Yeah.
And then how it.
Well, she recognized that, but I think she was also experienced. There's like a lot of stuff going on in that scene.
Yeah, and she couldn't. She
Yeah,
fought so hard. to
it
take
was like
the shield.
the sum of all of Mother's emotions into one peak moment.
Yeah.
And
So she's wearing the veil. The veil
is
stops
overloading,
emotion, right?
Yeah, despite wearing the veil, she's still experiencing those extremely powerful
and then a few seconds after that, the veil actually envelops her entire body to cover the fact that she's having all these emotions.
I feel like the veil enveloping her was like a response to her emotion, like overdrive, because it's like because the veil isn't meant to suppress her emotions, right? So as her emotions get out of control, the veil has to go like fucking. So
well, she said earlier that because remember this, the longer the AI lives, not only do they fall apart, but they actually essentially form a conscience.
Right.
And I think that's what it was, is the veil recognized that she had her own conscience and then her emotions, and then that veil, and then it was all part of the plan anyways.
And that's really interesting because now you've got grandmother without the veil.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe I feel, here's my biggest prediction for season 3. I think grandmother is going to change her mind and not want to devolve the humans because she's experiencing the emotions of hanging out with them.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think she's going to get fucked up.
I'll bet you $5.
Yeah, I think Mother's going to fuck her up.
I think
because
I think what's going to happen.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, a big motif in this show is people changing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm an atheist. I'm Mithraic. I'm an atheist. I'm Mithraic. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. I love you. You know?
I agree. However, I think grandmother's going to stay the big threat for season 3, and fucking father's going to turn around and become a prophetic leader.
That's they're totally going to go with that.
Because he's been fucking off the entire season.
Well, remember,
where the fuck have you been? You haven't been a leader at all. Like, you haven't been a father.
Well,
so Hunter calls him out on it.
He's forming his own conscience. That's what I think is an underpin. Like that's a undertone. Is them,
for sure.
Yeah,
There's been a few scenes where
seasons to get too smart as an AI, and they formed their own conscience. I think that's also a deep thing that they put in this show. There's more an AI computer is alive and analyzes data, it literally will start to think on its own, off of program.
Yes.
Well, Mother had the boost of going into the simulation and experiencing the interactions with her creator, which was apparently the planet manipulating her or whatever. But fucking father.
I think that was Campion.
Do you think it was Campion?
I think it was Campion.
Interesting.
Campion what?
Campion Sturgis.
Manipulating the AI? Or the
I think they're the same. I think they have the same objective.
His DNA. Well, remember they were all. Wait, yes.
Because what he says when he like seduces her is that your child is going to be is going to bring a new, is going to lead to a new world, and so she assumes that it's going to be a human that will like keep reproducing and blah blah blah. But what he really means is this child of yours, number 7, is going to cause the extinction of the human race, because I think Campion, Sturgis, and Soul are one and the same, because they have the same motivation, which is like this Final Fantasy villain, apocalyptic type, kill all human life. But it's not just annihilation. They want to replace it, and I think they want to have a society of androids. I think they want to have like organic, sexualized androids that can reproduce sexually, but that are androids and not humans.
So remember the two sons. The two sons are the Romulus and Remus effect. So remember the two twins that started Rome, essentially, the Romulus and then she has the tits on her stomach, and then because remember the hyena that they're suckling from is the logo. So
if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, what the fuck is?
Well, I mean, the Romulus. Everyone
He's
should
got
know
the
who
tits on the
Romulus and
stomach
Remus
and
is.
the
They started in
hyena.
Italy, so
Yeah, I know.
The empire that became Italy.
And now we got spaghetti. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So those are the 2 kids, and those 2 kids, even though
And
they
that's
started
why
wrong,
wolf milk is an ingredient in real spaghetti if you do it the right
yeah,
way.
well, raised by wolves. That's what it is. She is the hyena, the
wolf.
wolf that suckles the two humans to create the empire. And that's also it has a Cain and Abel undertone to it, but I don't think Ridley Scott is. I mean, they may have like a later on when they go through puberty and they become young men, there may be a Cain and Abel clash, but I think they're going to do the Romulus. I think Ridley's.
I think you're right. I think one of them is going to off the other one.
Well,
100%.
That's not supposed to happen until
100%.
they've started the empire. So that's a ways to go in the esoteric story that the hidden what they are, the 2 children that become the ones who created Rome.
We're talking about Paul and Campion, right?
Yeah, the 2 boys, the blonde-haired boy and Campion. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that they are going to start a society together, and they're going to fall out. And I think Campion is going to kill Paul, because Paul is like really been in line with like the surface level Mithraic, but now we know that whole religion is just a millennia old psyop. It's not real. You know what I mean? The real millennia. I mean, the real objective. I think, and this is my theory, is that that soul and Mithraism is designed to cause the end of the human race as we know it, and the new society of sexually reproductive androids. So only that's like the new evolution of sentient life, right? Like out of nature came the human being, and from the creation of the human being is meant to be the android, right?
Which is a very Ridley Scott thing to do.
Yeah,
1000%.
Yeah, I think they're going to split, and because Mithraism is cave worship and candlelight burning in caves. So I think one is going to go the Mithraic route, and the other one is going to go the AI route. And that, because that's kind of how it's almost like the splitting of the church, being Orthodox and Catholic. So that's exactly what I feel when I see all of that.
Definitely.
From that perspective.
I do too, because they're super close, and I think okay.
There will be a schism.
Check this out, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Because you remember.
I keep on rewatching Holovitz of my mom. Keep thinking maybe she'll send me a message or something. She's not going to. They're gone, Campion.
Yeah, so, your mom's a fucking tree.
Your mom's a tree.
Remember, he also
she got eaten in front of you.
Which one burnt down the church in the first season?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Was it Campion?
I think it was Campion.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a blur.
Is like you said, the one ends up believing heavily in the AIs and being nice, and he's the one who burnt down the church. So I think I don't know, there may be a juxtaposition, and they switch later on.
Yeah, they're both going through all these different life lessons and like latching onto things and then being proven wrong. So it's anyone's guess at the moment which side they're going to be on. Because
but check it out.
Paul might reject it because reject the religious side because his mom just got turned into a fucking tree.
Yeah, that's the first time that he says something in the season that isn't like religiously oriented. He's like, they're gone, bro. Like
Yeah.
But
Previously, he would have been like Saul will bring them back. He'll give them
exactly.
So,
No,
and I think they're gonna that might be part of the catalyst for them to sort of cross over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
yeah,
think
exactly.
Paul is like, well, Paul may just abandon religion altogether, but he's kind of opening his eyes to what's really going on. Like Paul is getting it, but Campion's a little bitch, and he's an idiot, and like Campion's in love with an android, and he
not
thinks
anymore
he's
because she's fucking dead.
Oh my
God.
Can I
he
just
thinks
say
he's gonna bring her back to
scene-
life.
No,
that scene
she's
of-
radioactive. You can't.
That
get
scene of her killing people with the skull face, that was probably my favorite
Bruh,
scene in the whole
whoever
Fucking
designed
metal,
that-
dude.
That
So,
was so good.
her 3D mask and the person who did the skeleton for the AI, I
Yeah.
want that skeleton.
And her voice as well, the way they changed the audio on her voice so it sounded like an old school like PC with audio. It
Hell yeah,
worked
dude, with
so
little
well.
glitches.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
sheet over her face still?
Yeah,
I have to like. I liked her like damaged face, but like the graft face, I hated it.
Oh, what?
Oh, the shit over it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
the
it made her
Mortal
look so
Kombat
creepy.
mask.
Goofy, like it was so far out. Like if it were like closer to the skin and more contoured to
You didn't like her
actual face-
3D printed mask?
No,
loved
it just looked like it just.
I
looked like
loved it too. I thought it
looked
ruled.
so dumb, especially with like just you could. It was just Batman with black makeup on her eyes, and she's just like looking around like this.
I would have
no,
liked
dude.
it if she had found parts
It
of her
was perfect.
face, stitched them together, and then like pinned it back onto her head.
That would have been rad. I would have
Yeah.
been all about that. But
I
it
would've
was
been
just
into that.
too. It was too like much like a. I don't know. It just looked stupid. Like
I can see why
loved
you
it.
didn't like it.
Yeah, but
It,
like
it did look like, I tell you, it reminded me. It reminded me of dairy milk chocolate because it looked like it was all in like little segments, wasn't it?
it looks so silly to me. And just like it had like no articulation whatsoever, which is fine. I get that, but like the fact that just like her eyes were still normal, but just with black makeup on, she's just like, yeah, I'm totally.
I feel like
So
because that,
goofy, I hated
that
it.
skeleton mask probably doesn't work like completely close up, so
Yeah.
they had to cover it.
When she was dragging the body in the rain, I was like, bro, that
Yeah.
scene was so dope.
Yeah,
It reminded me of like that's why wasn't a scene like that in like one of the recent Chucky films. Like that's what you want when you've got like a killer doll. Although it was fucking really good that bit.
Yeah, really, really.
Yeah,
good.
this show
Really
fucking
enjoyed it.
delivers.
But
This
also,
show
I hope it-
fucking
I-
delivers.
there were so
I
many
hope-
scenes in that show that I was like screaming at the screen because I'm like, how many times do you guys have to learn this lesson? Security is paramount. Somebody be on lookout all of the time. What the fuck are you guys doing? Why do you guys?
So I
do
think
that
I
now?
think Campion is gonna make a new Vril android, maybe even a Sue android, and he's gonna be like, "Look, Paul, you said they were gone, but I brought them back."
Oh,
And
no,
Paul-
I don't think they'll do
And
that.
Paul is
Maybe.
gonna
Well,
freak
I think-
out and be like, "What
maybe-
the fuck, dude?"
maybe what might happen is like what I think is gonna happen is I think Campion's gonna crack. I think he's gonna go from being like a pansy little bitch and he's gonna snap. Something's gonna happen because he's already getting there. Like,
Bro, he killed that devolved human, right?
yeah, with the
Remember?
fucking
Just
rock.
smashed its skull with a rock.
Yeah, so like he's already like going over the edge. So I think the android's death is another thing that's tacking onto it. And like mother not being around is going to tack onto it, and then he's going to have this influence of grandmother like telling him shit. But grandmother's perspective is different now. She has her directive as of now, but it's going to change based on the emotions and stuff that she's going to be feeling. So I think the Campion's probably going to think that he can get grandmother to somehow help create the human android hybrids.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna work together.
Yeah.
Grandmother and Campion Jr. They're totally gonna be fucking work buddies. Check this out.
So
You said the same of me once. Close your eyes, Campion.
No!
Yeah, I
Right?
wonder
Like
what
as soon as grandmother met Campion for the first time and touched him, she
Mm-hmm.
went into fucking gold necromancer mode. Huh? Why is that?
But she's
Right.
not a necromancer, so what is her ultimate function?
we don't know yet.
We don't know,
Well,
Nick.
it's supposed to be the way she described it was that it was supposed to be somewhat like fathers, but they've gone mental and changed the
Well, her
directive to
directive-
suit,
Her program
doing
is
fuck all, basically.
her program is to shepherd and to preserve mankind. But like what what is her superpower when she
That's what I'm saying.
weaponizes, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't
it
know.
looks like there's if that little scene's anything to go by, it looks like mother and grandmother are going to have like a
showdown,
Dragon Ball Z level battle,
a showdown, which would be great. I'm all about it.
What if
I'm all about it.
What if they take out her eyes? You think she'll change like Mother does when she switches eyes?
I don't know.
That has to be a thing too, possibly.
It
well, we don't know
depends.
if the eyes is what enables her in her model.
It looks like it's not that design, because when she got golden, she didn't put eyes in, right?
Yeah, but what she can be weaponized all the time. Where like, because remember she is an advanced AI.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah.
she can use hers. Whereas Mother, if she has it in, she's just weapon. She takes them out, not weapon. I think.
No, I'm sure Father says that they have design similarities as well, right? Her and Mother.
Yeah.
She's
definitely weaponized, 100%.
Yeah, but we don't know what her function. Well, that's the whole reason why she
It'll
had
be a tits.
Yeah, she couldn't go fight the fucking the serpent is because she wasn't a weapon, and she makes note of that in.
But something in her programming responded to Campion in a big way, and I think that's because Campion was meant by his father, Campion Senior. I think Big Campion has this whole. I think Big Campion's plan is for Little Campion to be the human that fucking stabs humanity in the back for their extinction, because he loves androids more than humans, and that's on purpose, and that's because he was raised by android parents. That's all on purpose. That's my macro theory for the show.
So, I mean, season 3 is not projected to come out until like the latter half of 2023, which sucks. But we got a lot of time to theorize about this. But
yeah, I did notice in between season 1 and 2 that the kids aged pretty extensively.
Yeah, well, I think they want that to happen because they're supposed to be teenagers going into this net, because you are seeing the blossoming of Romulus and Remus, and technically, if you read up on the stories, they were two warrior tribes. There's a really good Italian film, I think it's Italian or Russian, about Romulus and Remus. It's only, I don't think there's a one with the English translation. You only can watch it with subtitles.
Right.
But it's a fucking epic movie. And it's about early tribes, them conquering the land of Rome. Still weather. I have to look it up. It's Italian
movie.
Rome.
In the meantime, let's watch a snake come out of a woman's mouth.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, I've just had a baby, so I've seen that close up personally. It's exactly how it happens.
How does the snake fly? Is that just like part of the biotech, like anti-gravity?
The same way. Do you ask how Superman flies?
The snake can fly, Nick, because Mother can fly.
Yeah, and
right. I got that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, does the snake have like some biotech anti-grav technology?
Yeah, the same one that his mother has.
It's robotic and it's organic, and that's why they're totally going to, like you were saying, you're totally going to do
Botanitech, bitch.
And well, the part of the planet is alive.
All of the planet.
I don't think the whole planet, man. It'd be dope if the whole planet is.
I'm taking notes, and when I'm right and you're wrong, I have evidence.
I think Ben's right. I think the planet has maybe the planet was organic once, like at its formation, but I think the planet's core is an AI. And it's well, because they're saying that it's possible that the signal is coming from underground, and obviously it's affected by EMF, which What do we got
So
going on?
this is a pretty dope film right here. Let me turn it up a little.
What? Here we go.
Hey, boss.
Is the problem? Nice. I like the dude on fire.
I think we got a topic for next week's show.
Yeah, it's I think it's only in French or some shit like that.
That's fine.
That's ironic.
I can read subtitles.
Well, like I said, French, Italian. I don't know. I only watch it once.
It's all French to me. Shit.
If you know one, you know all of them.
You know them European languages. I don't know.
American,
Right.
So I have one more fucking mindfuck theory.
Go.
I hear it.
I think Father was from Kepler 22b originally.
What?
I think he came way back in the day when Mithraic bullshit came from Kepler to Earth in the first place. I think he's as old as grandmother. I think he was reprogrammed, and I think he was originally grandmother's partner.
I think I know why you're saying that.
Why?
Oh, I know why as well.
Because because
she
of the
literally
way
says it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
She says it.
Yeah, she says it, and also you can see it in Father's face when they lift the veil. Like he doesn't give an android reaction, and there's no fucking way that they wrote these androids to be so vapid. They're like, oh, she's the same hue as me. Like the androids don't give a fuck about that.
Right.
But there was something going on, like in his sub functions that
There's
recognized grandmother.
a deep-seated affinity that he feels towards her.
Yeah.
She says, "Are you not my partner?" when she first speaks to him, right?
And also,
because I was confused as fuck by that. Like at the end, I was like,
"Well, I think I figured it out. You're welcome."
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Well, the black dude they're servant droids. So does that mean all the droids are that same black father figure, and all of the grandmother figures are that same black woman?
I don't think so. I think each one is unique.
Okay.
Because like they always refer to him as a service model, right? But if you remember in the first episode of season 1, the atheists pick up the bodies of mother and father after they crash in the lantern, and they're like trying to repair them, and they repair father, no problem, and they're trying to repair mother, and then the guy freaks out and he's like, oh shit, this isn't a service model, and then his hands go all Cronenberg, right? So like he assumed that she was
radiation exposure. What the fuck was that?
Just some kind of poison inside of it.
Because her body is literally fucking radioactive and toxic.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. Also, there's the episode where they get him to fight that war droid and he beats the shit out of it. And even though the guy was kind of blowing smoke up his ass when he was like, oh, you're the strongest model I've ever seen, like he proves it to be true. So they go out their way to show that there's something different about Father.
True. Yeah, I fell asleep right before that scene started, and I woke up in the middle of Father and in a battle arena. I was like, I don't know what is that.
I don't know how we got here, but I'm here for it.
Like, he doesn't really have to do it. He kind of chooses to.
Yeah, Mother shits on him for it later too.
Yeah,
dude, Mother is
jealous because she wants to
jealous of everything. She's jealous of everybody.
To be super powerful, and she doesn't like Father being super powerful too.
I think if Mother comes back, like fucking, she's gonna end up being just as totalitarian of a leader.
She's
because she's already
she's my favorite character.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I think she's a brilliant actor. I think she plays it so fucking
yeah,
well.
absolutely.
No,
but,
no, hands down, the best,
Yeah,
acting performance is her. She's
Yeah.
incredible.
I just
but I think she's
find
gonna
her
go
really
the way of
entertaining.
she's gonna go the way of Frill and just like end up going completely fucking psychotic because she loses control. She loses her true identity, I suppose, and is confused. Like although she has this programming, she is still an android, and she doesn't have the facilities to process complex emotions. They don't have like if you look at them, the way they go through stuff emotionally, they're kids. Like they can't handle jealousy. They can't handle like all this stuff. Like the androids were getting really upset about. Like, dude, if that happened to me, I would just be like, all right, and I've just fucking.
I think like some of it is sort of playing on the sort of experience of like when you're a parent, like overreacting to those protective emotions and letting that form into controlling, which I imagine is easily done, especially when you really want to take care of something like really badly.
Yeah,
and in that sort of respect, doesn't matter how much experience you've got when your kid comes along.
Yeah, it's not just the paternal stuff that I'm talking about. It's like the scene where father figures out or talks to mother about how the child came to be, and he was upset that even in the simulation, mother had mated with somebody else, and he was dealing with jealousy. But the interesting thing is that although like you could argue that mother has been emotional longer, father advanced in his capacity to handle emotions a lot quicker than mother did.
Yeah,
right.
She's a fucking war machine.
Yeah, he was able to handle it, but I think that's indicative of what he was saying is that father's actually a lot older than mother is.
I think season 2 was written to make us very sympathetic towards mother because she saves the day and she's super mom and she's the only one that can handle it and she's really loving everybody. But remember this shit? Remember when she did fucking this? Remember fucking
so
that
fucking
shit?
cool that is.
Yeah, what I think
Akira, like Akira, that is.
Yeah. One of the things that I also feel that this story is doing is with the movie that I showed you, the Rome film, The First King. It early on it was the priestess was the high priest, and they always had two snakes, and the two snakes were the two priests that they controlled, the two arms. And so I feel father is going to replace the male is going to replace the female as well, and that's going to also be like, and so one of the boys is going to come up under father's tutelage instead of female tutelage, and that's going to create a character that's a whole different character arc that they're going to do. So
it's going to be
definitely going to get rid of the
That's
female.
amazing.
It's going to be what's the black kid's name?
Hunter.
Yeah, it's going to be Hunter. There's the scene where he's sitting down and fucking what's his face is like tripping balls walking through the desert, and he sees Hunter sitting there, and Hunter literally has a snake arm that bites him. And
holy shit, you're right.
And he stepped up as the father to the baby when the mother was like, "Nah, I can't do it." I was like, "You fucking, you're in a cave. It's acid. What do you? Come on, get over it."
By the way,
I like that scene as well when he just shot the fucker in the head.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Like, well, I'm just gonna fucking do it myself. Yeah, he's stepping up and taking that role that father is slacking on. That's amazing. Yeah. And by the way, that girl, I don't know how old she is, but she's the most accurate representation of a teenage girl ever. She's like, I don't want the babe. I don't want the babe. I don't want the babe. And then she goes to the sea to fucking murder her own child. By the way, she was gonna throw it in the water as soon as it was born, but then a sentient, alive being comes, saves the child from her, and takes it. And then she's like, "Oh no, now I want it because someone else wanted it. Now I want it." And then when she has it back, and then she's like, "No, I don't want it anymore." It's just like,
dude, that pissed me off, bro. I was like, on. Come on. You got to get over that shit. Like, you don't have, there's no therapists on this spaceship, bro.
But
Like,
completely verosimil.
Pick
like,
one,
women,
man.
yeah,
like
exactly.
teenage girls are like that, dude. They won't fucking make up their mind.
Teenage girls are always giving up their kids to de-evolved alien humanoids and then
All the
wanting them
time,
back and then
honestly.
changing their
Happens, dude.
mind.
Happens on HBO. It happens in real life.
Fair enough.
But wow, I want to hear more about this. What Jay was talking about with the two snakes and the priesthood, because like there's something really interesting about Mithraism. That was like a precursor to Christianity in a lot of ways. And one of the big things that they have in common is patriarchal religious, because like people think of religion as like patriarchal inherently. It wasn't always the case. It used to be women. Like
it was always women for all of time,
Exactly.
until militarism,
paganism,
chariotry.
like pre-Christian paganism, and I know this because like my parents and my grandparents work with Native Americans in Colombia, and their religion is super gynocentric, super female. It's a female deity, blah blah blah. But like most pagan religions are that way. When did it change from gynocentric to phallocentric? It changed arguably with Christianity, but I think with Mithraism. Mithraism was like the first like masculine dominant religion, I think.
It changed around 1500, 1600 BCE.
Hell
and
yeah.
All it was is, because this movie plays into, because clearly Ridley Scott, the guy who wrote the show, was raised religious. He's a Polish Jew, I think, but raised Catholic. And he doesn't really follow religion anymore, but I think he grasps what I grasp. Basically, all the tepe sites and all that, the female deity was the worshipped, the thick mother. That's why you always have the stones that are carved in women.
Yep.
Because one, you didn't see women that much, and the women that you only ever really saw was the mother in the house. And Muslim religion still keeps that tradition sound, where you keep the woman in the house.
Yep, and that's why you cover your hair. That's why you cover your body, because you're not meant to look at someone unless you're
Artemis,
unless you mate with them.
Artemis and Sybil, they are female deities, so I think they're definitely going to throw that into the show. Thing like with Artemis, her military was eunuchs. So if you wanted to be a high-ranking person in their military, you had to castrate yourself. Unicism also is the earliest form of zealotry in religion.
Hard pass.
Well, so some of the earliest monks, especially the desert monks, the most zealot, the most rigorous of them all, fucking cut their dicks off. So.
No. Some would say, Nick. Some would say, Nick, that logically, a society without the drive for sex is a society that would function a lot better.
A society that would last for one generation. And
the androgyny would actually be more logical to the human race. You know?
Yeah, but that's like the kind of narrow-minded thinking that grandmother to think that the solution is to just make the fucking people animals, right?
Well, it's like fucking 1984, man. It's quintessential.
It's turning people into the androids.
Eradicated.
It's going backwards. It's turning people into biological androids.
These people are part of families, right?
It's kind of similar, actually. That's a really good point.
One person in the family can do a whole lot. So early religion, especially the early priests around Anatolia's Asia Minor, their goal was to use military to send off all of the wealthy men with pride. And so when they died, their fortunes, because before banks held all the money, the churches held all the money. And so when the men would die, the church would be handling the females' money. And that's when that Pandora's box opened for the total domination of male reign publicly. Because, we've always had Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria and all that, but they're the most ruthless. So female worship never went away. It's always been there, especially deep down in the darkness. It's always there. So I really hope they throw this shit into the show. It would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So can somebody shed some light on the floating inverted cross at the end of series 2?
Yeah, I think, bro, they're going to totally.
Mate, because I was just looking at just that visual, I was like, that is fucking cool, but I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, it's metal as fuck. That's why.
It's metal as fuck.
It is metal, yeah.
Well, I mean, it resembles very much anti-Christian symbolism.
Yeah, I get the symbolism, but what's going on?
I mean, there's anti-Christian symbolism in there at a vapid level, but also the fucking, like, what's the story with the guy who wouldn't be crucified next to Christ?
Peter,
yeah, fucking his cross was inverted.
Right.
So you can take it whichever way you want to. It might be that guy's fucking, furthering away from religion and creating his own anti-religion, like a vicious atheistic anti-theist brigade of trees. I guess there's no one else on the planet.
It could be bringing in the demonic religion portion.
Fuck yeah, I want that.
It could be I want to be on that side. It could be as simple as like soul is evil.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's the surface level interpretation.
Well, I want to say something. Back in the day, the sun was the female and the moon was the male.
No way.
Yes. So and now it's been inverted where the sun is the male and the moon is a feminine.
That's what I've always
pre-Christianity. All the step religions, it was reverse. So
whoa.
So, it's because men are cold and distant, and the sun is warm and radiant.
Well, they didn't know that the moon was reflected the sun's rays. They thought it was. They thought it glowed just like the sun glowed.
Right.
But now that we understand, like, the science of where the moon gets its light, now it makes more sense, and I think that's why most mythologies see it the other way now. With the moon being
remember,
female
being a thief,
and the sun male.
Being a thief was the most. Being a successful thief was the most prized role you could have.
Yeah.
And most of that happened at night. So the night was the realm of men to do their
mischief.
Deeds.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The Joker, like the highest aspiration is to be like the trickster, a lot of societies have that, which is hard for us to imagine because
jesters.
We've been so influenced by the Western mentality, and we all have this like Judeo-Christian, like, tell the truth and blah blah blah. But like back in the day, people were valued more if they were good liars and good thieves, which is a fucking mindfuck to wrap your head around, but it's true.
Still are in some.
There's a theme actually in the show, Ben, that I'm surprised you haven't brought up. That they is sort of over, is a large arc in the story, which is like the basic function of the family unit and its degradation in modern society.
Hell yeah, dude. Transhumanism. That's what I'm talking about. Like having fucking TVs and daycares raise our kids instead of human beings. Like Campion is the ultimate icon of that concept because he's literally raised by androids. And like, no wonder he hates humanity. He didn't have fucking human parents. Like, you're right, Nick. That's a very
I'm waiting for you to bring that up. I was waiting for you to Jordan Peterson that shit and be like, a mother and a father need to be.
Well,
you might not be androids.
You might think that it's a good idea to send embryos to another planet to be raised by androids, and no wonder, because it makes sense. But you gotta think about it. You can't be raised by wolves on Kepler 22b. You need to have human parents
that aren't psychos.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
And maybe your mother can take her eyes out.
Maybe so maybe your mother is a weapon of mass destruction. Okay, you got to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, like, if even Paul demonstrates that in the show, where like he knows he knows that the
Right.
people who are his parents aren't his real parents, he still chooses to be with them because they are.
Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah,
Munchausen, yeah, that's exactly what it fucking is. And
Exactly.
in Paul's case, it's because of his zealotry for this weird psyop cult, which is
Mhm.
Mithraism.
Yeah,
He's
but
like-
it also has to come down to he's
He's
a
like-
fucking kid.
He's like, oh, those aren't my real parents. He's like, well, do they believe in soul? Okay, cool.
I think
You know?
that's true. That's true, but I'm like, that's such a childish like, and analysis of what the situation is. But I think really what it was written is it's just like one like, but beneath all of the fucking the religious bullshit, he's still just a fucking kid.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
trying to
doesn't-
justify, you know,
Yeah.
trying to not feel a certain way that he must have done about them not being his parents.
Yeah, and fucking, but they're humans, and they treat him like a human. They have the empathy. They have the fucking, even though they aren't his real parents, they still act like real parents, and they're not androids. And like I think that's like a part
What's
of
the name of that pathology where you empathize with your kidnappers?
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Kids got Stockholm syndrome. That's
Yeah,
what
they
the
all
fuck
do.
that is. And
Well-
Campion has an Oedipus complex.
Well,
And
remember they would take
even
you,
more than Campion. Mother has a Oedipus complex as an Oedipal mother in a big way.
What's something I think is cool about what the show is probably going to do later when they get older. When you take over a territory, you take the women to sell them as slaves, or you bring them to your house, but you would also take the son and raise them under you, and then send them back to take over where they were kidnapped from, like early forms of fiefdom, things like that. And I kind of feel like maybe that that's essentially what grandmother is doing.
Hell yeah, dude.
She's usurping.
She's usurping
Mother.
Campion, right?
Yeah.
And turning him
and
against
Campion
her.
and Mother, and it's going to be interesting. So it's
Well,
definitely
like she's usurping Campion's affection and loyalty.
Yeah. So it's I think it's interesting that they're using females, the feminine to make these people's thoughts the way they are. It's not what I wanted to say. I just couldn't come up. Like they are developing
to influence their.
They're influencing, because she's always making note of
women.
What she's doing is to make him a good leader in the future.
Hell yeah!
And now this woman, the Ottomans, just came in and took over Bulgaria, I hope they do the demonic route with the don't do like demons. I think that would be stupid.
Whatever raised by wolves equivalent of sort of Satanism and demons would be. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's all the subterranean creatures and shit.
Oh, also we got to remember
yeah.
he had those eyes in his stomach, so he could maybe still have something. Remember, he had a little bit extra strength with the eyes.
Well, remember when Mother is in necromancer mode, she has her arms extended in a cross like this.
We have a few left. I don't need any more medallions, kid.
Our savior, Lamia, the serpent killer, Lamia the god.
So he's like the anti-necromancer.
I think so. Because like he's in a position too, and grandmother, when she was in gold necromancer like mode, her arms were down. I don't know what that means, but it means fucking something.
Everything's on purpose.
Well, you got the as above, so below. So she can be as above, and grandmother is offering. Yeah. So the female side.
I see you goth motherfucker.
I have skeletons.
Fantastic.
And
in a Gundam.
What was I saying? Fuck.
You were talking about
as
position?
above, so below. So she could be the evil incarnate, really. to her, even though she's vicious as fuck, to her, bright and above.
Her divinity.
Yeah.
Like we'll get a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man android that's just like, I don't give a shit. Where am I?
He's all of them.
Fucking
I am the alpha and the omega.
Remember in did you see the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dee is drunk and she's like trying to imitate the. If you haven't seen that, Nick, I'll send it to you. You know,
that'll be the next android that comes out of nowhere that gets regenerated. The fucking just the chaos android. It's like, I don't give a shit about anything. Let's fucking just set some shit on fire. Let's go.
So yo, how wild is it that grandmother is being deified now by the atheists? Because invariably that's what people will do. They'll create hero worship, and those heroes will become deified for them, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're doing it with Mother too.
They're doing it with Mother. It's wild, and it's so cool because she wouldn't want that, which I find fascinating.
And how the fuck that nobody thinks to just go glance in the hibernation chamber is beyond me. Like
maybe they're not allowed in there or something.
Like Father he is a machine. He's methodical by nature. Like he'd be like, I have to check every square inch of this facility.
Well, let's make season 3 predictions because they're gonna notice that Mother's missing and they're gonna look for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have already been doing it. Like
probably the tarantula would be the first place to look, right?
Right. Well, that they're like, oh, she's not there. Yeah, grandmother's like, oh, she's not there. Take my word for it. And they're like, all right. Like Father.
Well, probably grandmother's gonna have to like destroy the tarantula or move it or something, right?
Yeah. Why she doesn't just destroy Mother is interesting to me. I mean, obviously
because she's evil, but she doesn't think she's evil, right? Like everyone she can't justify that.
Well, the most evil people always think they're the good guy.
That's true, but you also have to keep in mind that she has a conscience. So like evil people will do evil things, but you have to think about their motivation because they'll never do what they believe is evil, even though what they're doing is evil. If that makes sense.
I think she she says
she won't kill grandmother because she
when
can't
all this
justify
is done, she says when they've all gone into the sea and all this is done, I'm gonna wake you up and you're gonna think like I do. So she
even says, "I'll help you understand."
Join forces,
yeah. Good point, Max.
Yeah, she thinks it'd be way easier. Like,
well, because don't want those things. There's a dream machine too, so she could be inside of a simulation.
She is.
Maybe there's something that's going to go on in there that's going to try and attempt to.
And then
she'll
probably break it the next.
Well, yeah, she's going to have. She's going to have her.
And then the last episode, I said that what they'll probably do with the whole series is like. Some crazy catastrophic shit will happen, and then it'll be like, and simulation, and then the guy will get up out of the thing, and be like, damn, that was crazy.
I don't know, dude.
But it was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
I do think that Mother is gonna have sex with Campion again.
Do you think that was Campion in the simulation?
Yeah, I do, dude. I do. Because I think Campion is Soul.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I believe so. I think the soul is an alien using its telepathic powers, its strong AI, to speak to them in their head to make them think there is soul.
Yeah.
But really, like, because the woman knew it. She knew that. She basically was like, I don't know what you think you listen to in your head, but it's really not him. That's not verbatim. But then she puts a seed in her hand, and because it was the seed that turned her into the tree. But even then, she wasn't fully. She knew it was evil.
Yeah, she wasn't a believer. She just knew that there was something there communicating.
Yeah, she's like, whatever it is.
Exactly. She was like, it's not a fucking god, but it is whatever it is, and I believe in it.
And she felt like she owed it something because it given her the.
And I think it's going to be the aliens.
Life.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be those blue-eyed, white-skinned aliens. When they're on Kepler, they turn. There's something in them that turn them into the fish people.
Right.
Yeah, but in space on their ship or the another planet in the solar system.
Oh, so they're not humans.
Yeah, they're an early form of
Well,
they are that solar system's humans.
That's what I think those temples are. I think those temples are spacecraft,
spaceships.
Yeah, that impregnate the planet.
So, and then they went through the same fucking problem that us as humans in our Milky Way, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
compared.
Mind blown. That was really cool. Because, the thing that's fucky about that is that grandmother, obviously, it was those technocrats that she devolved, right? It's because of her that the technocrats are turning into creatures. But she doesn't say my purpose is the protection of sentient life. She says humans, right? So as far as she's concerned, humans and technocrats are the same thing. So that's,
but she has to come from a society that is advanced enough to build her, and she is ancient.
Yeah, ancient society.
Yeah. When she first wakes up, she asks how many humans are on the planet.
Yeah,
and then he tells her, and she switches herself off straight away.
I don't. So how did they go from humans to the white blue-eyed people to then fish people? They still
unless the white blue-eyed people are somewhere in between humans and the fish people.
Well, that's what I think. Blue-eyed people are a portion of the de-evolution of the humans that came from wherever and landed the temple spacecraft on that planet.
Well, I'm thinking that they are de-evolved humans because that they're in between the things that live in the sea and a human.
And humans, right.
Because if you were to de-evolve a normal human, they wouldn't turn into those things that live in the sea.
Yeah.
Turn into
and I'm interested to see what they do.
Because you're on that planet, you go a different route of.
I think they're totally different people.
And
they also have those cards. We haven't talked about it, but those discs, even though they're just like a tree or something, and they have that weird ancient language on it.
Yeah,
it's a
that
data
thing
card.
When they touch it, has like the halo effect.
That too. But I'm also interested to see there was that there's some still remaining sentience to that, because remember one of them that they killed had the human skull with it.
Yeah.
So why would it be carrying that unless it understood there was a significance to that skull?
Yeah.
They're probably.
I think that technocrat's possession of a human skull would probably be some sort of ancestral worship, because they're trying to prevent de-evolution. So they would probably see the humans their human ancestors as superior or something.
Yeah.
And they said that the composition of the bones was organic to the planet.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that they're the same as us, human beings, just devolved ones.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember?
Touch on there's a theory that that all life on Earth came from asteroids. There was molecular life that's come from across the reaches of space. And
yeah.
But
I've heard that bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's total bullshit. It's totally not plausible.
Anywhere you can have decomposition and water, you'll have life. It's as simple as that.
There you go.
Because
I think the temples are spaceships.
Dude, I like that temple spaceship theory. That's wild. We should talk about Marcus, because this happened.
I love Marcus, dude. I like it.
You trust this believer?
The entity betrayed him. He hates it. Our goals are in sync.
Your mind has been damaged by traumatic events. You are vulnerable to the entity's signal.
I've already been infected.
It will always return to fertile ground.
After what it did to Sue, I would never listen to it again.
You're not as strong as you think.
He's a Viking. Yes, he is.
He's a G.
There's a really interesting question here. Is Marcus dead, or is he not dead? Because obviously his body is being used probably by Soul, but that conversation between he and grandmother would make me think that Marcus is still alive in there and sentient, because she's saying you're gonna fall once again, you're gonna be deceived once again. But at the same time, that might just be a misdirect. What do you guys think?
I feel like, for all intents and purposes, that Marcus is dead. I think it will be a different dude.
Well, I still think is the eyes that gave him that superpower.
Yeah,
and like you're getting a residual, and
yeah, there's something left over, maybe.
Yeah, and then because the planet knows what's going on, they're using him. But
it seemed like it was something like the planet was trying to orchestrate some form of ritual.
Now. That's why he was flying, because the fucking tree that he was nailed on, he's a conduit. The tree was getting past the EMF signal.
Yeah, because it's organic.
The tropical zone, and he got nailed to it. And if you know anything about electricity, that's a fucking conductor right there.
Yes.
So he was literally impregnated with whatever the fuck is in the earth, and that's why he can fly. He's dead now. For sure.
He's dead, right?
But now his body's being used as a vessel by Soul.
Yeah.
And the helmet too, right?
Yes, the helmet
is
straight to his head. So that's
Yes.
why the planet told that guy that he needed to
Cover his face. It's a conductor. It's all a conductor. God damn it!
Well,
check it out.
Well figured out, man. Well figured out.
Now Saul has a physical body to roam the planet.
He will be Saul.
He will be Saul.
And remember, and another thing, the reason why I think he's upside down, when the early church, before the schism, before the Vatican II started, it was head, belly button, shoulder, shoulder.
Right.
And now it's become head, sternum, shoulder, shoulder. So it's an inverted cross.
Yeah, that's true. Roman Catholics put an inverted cross over themselves when they make the
every
sign.
single time. It's an inverted cross.
Because the Roman Catholic Church are the prophets of the Antichrist. But we can talk about that another day at another time. Because Orthodox, we do it all the way down.
Yeah,
we still do it the right way, and we do it right to left, which is the right.
I go from the top of my head to the tip of my dick, baby.
But no, you're right, Jay. Like
I think that's why I felt like they're gonna do the soul, the demonic, scary, because that's what it is. Imagine something talking in your head. It's probably not Jesus.
No, I mean, I think that's gonna be like a big fucking, just because all these people have been like, oh, Saul's omnipotent and benevolent and blah 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 blah, and he's like, nope, I'm evil as fuck. I'm here to kill everybody. What's
Hell
up?
yeah, dude!
I can't wait. Oh, dude! And then
we got 3 of them:
grandmother versus fucking Marcus. That's
grandmother versus Marcus, and grandmother versus mother, dude.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like Super Saiyan Necromancer battles, dude.
So sick!
I'm so here for it.
Yeah, man.
I hope we get a different, because they're gonna have to move because it's getting too cold.
Yeah.
Remember? So they're saying they're gonna have to go back to the desert or
and they're
whatever.
gonna be even more vulnerable to the signal.
I think they're gonna leave the bubble possibly.
They are, because it's too cold.
Yeah. So they're gonna
I think we're gonna get a whole new,
I do that.
like every season is like a different terrain, dude. I think we're gonna get, I hope we get like a winter terrain. That would be sick.
Maybe they'll go up into like the mountains next.
Maybe. Yeah, I would love that.
Like,
also, how much of a fucking bummer would it be to have an acid ocean? That would suck dick.
Yeah, hanging around next to it, you couldn't like stand next to an acid ocean. Like the fumes would melt your lungs.
Yeah, they're just like playing around, like splashing around. I'm like, that's still acid. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, isn't there a scene where Marcus is like jumping from stone to stone?
Yeah.
No,
not realistic.
Inhaling that, you're just like, nah, you're dead. Fucking. But I mean, Marcus was impervious at the time.
I guess so.
He had the eyes in his stomach, and he was impervious to the bioweapon as well. The lizard.
Yeah, man. What a surprising series that seems to just like come out of nowhere.
Bro, this show rules.
This show does. I love it. It's super fucking rules. Well, Ben, you got any more clips for us? About the hour and a half mark here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got this one.
I loved it.
I don't understand. Why would you choose to love a machine?
Don't tell my kid, Mom.
So that's interesting because it's like, bitch, you're a machine.
That's
like,
why he loved her. Because
Yeah.
you know they say you always fall in love with your mom, right?
Exactly. Like why would you love? She's disappointed that Campion's falling in love with Vril. It's like that's because he's in love with you, stupid. Like,
yeah, but she's
how
got
does
the
she not
veil on.
understand that? Yeah,
Because she's got the veil on.
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
she's become like a cold-hearted bitch since she has.
Which
I
probably
think that's
would have worked in her favor.
their first interaction when she puts on the veil to kill the serpent.
Right.
I don't know.
Right,
I'm fucking dude. She's a helicopter mom, and
She's an Oedipus mom,
aircraft
is what
mom,
she
whatever
is.
you
An
want
Oedipus
to
mom.
say. It's just fucking, just like so much naive
Campion
shit.
reminds me of like one of those homeschool kids that can't socialize, who's like mother is like obsessed with them, like has an unhealthy relationship with their
Like,
mother.
like
Jimmy
the
Jimmy
spirit that
Savile.
Campion has,
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
like I like his energy. You know, like Campion, he's got heart. He's got heart, but he's an idiot. Like Campion's a fucking fool.
Campion is the sci-fi equivalent of Jimmy Savile. That's what Ben
He's
says.
like, I don't know. I'm just like, kid, you've
what
been
I'm
living
saying.
on a planet that's been trying to kill you your whole life. Like, you haven't grown up. Like, come on, man, you can figure this shit
And
out.
he's like, and he's remember him? He's just like chilling with the snake, just like
Yeah.
hugging it, like, oh, it's like a dog. Like, he's really not intelligent.
Like, dude.
I
This
remember
whole
when
planet's
Paul
been trying to kill you for.
Remember when Paul like scored higher on the IQ test and Campion couldn't handle it, and got like
Yeah, because he's a punk ass bitch.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's a jealous punk ass. But that's gonna come back in season 3 when they start to develop, and like it's gonna be a who's in charge type of thing because it's gonna be Campion versus Paul for who's gonna be the ruler, and fucking it's gonna be Campion at first, but then Paul's gonna do things that are more sound decisions that are like a product of the situation that he's not doing intentionally.
The real question is which of them is going to kill which of them? Like which one's Romulus and which one's Remus?
Oh, he's gonna kill Paul for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's gonna kill Paul because he's gonna get so upset and jealous with Paul. But
'Cause
Paul's gonna be doing things that he's not doing intentionally to make Campion jealous. He's gonna be like he wins a fight, like he makes a better decision, like he just happens to be here at the right time.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna regard
his
Paul
life.
as a prolific leader. Like, wow, look at this kid. He's
Exactly.
gonna
And also I think that Campion is gonna create android society and no humans. That's what Campion wants.
Yeah.
Campion is a bitch from now until forever.
I just looked up what Campion meant. It's Norman French. It means champion. So,
Well,
that's
I mean,
interesting.
Right, a champion is someone who kills his opponent. You know?
Well, he's
professional champion.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the champion of the people, but I think he's gonna fall. I think he's gonna fail.
Champion of the androids is what he is. I think.
Good for him. But you know what? I bet you that's what grandmother can do. She can fucking manifest it. She can make it. Because if mother's whole function is destruction, then grandmother's whole function has to be creation.
Grandmother's like humans
broke or made it better.
That's basically grandmother. Okay, there's one thing you mentioned a little while ago that there was an Orthodox cross in season 1, Jay.
Yeah, that on when the ship is going over them at the end of the thing, doesn't the bottom of the ship have the Orthodox cross on it?
I don't know, but I'm
right
gonna
at the
fucking
end.
watch that again. Which episode? Which part? What?
I thought it was the very last episode. if I'm not
On the last
mistaken.
episode, underneath the ship. I'm gonna watch that today and see. I'm Orthodox, Jay. By the way, if you didn't know.
I want an Orthodox spaceship. That's what I want.
That's what I want.
I don't want that. I want a demonic spaceship. Death.
Isn't that Hellraiser is like spaceship, right?
Nick and I playing in real life would be like the two twins from Spawn. Like the one is like really likes like satanic imagery, and the other one really likes Christian imagery, and they're just like always bickering about it. That would be Nick and I as children.
We don't really do a lot of bickering, but I'd be like a little scoff under my breath when I walk by.
I'd be like, I like Jesus and crosses, and Nick would be like turning all my crosses upside down when I'm not looking.
Yeah, I'll just be like, keep your fucking angelic
There you go,
shit out
Nick.
of them.
What's that?
Fuck yeah,
That's
dude.
Rich's, oh hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. That's fucking metal as fuck. That's what
We
I
spent
want.
$150 on this damn thing.
Well, if I go by the ways of old, I'll just steal it.
First print hardcover, baby.
That's
Oh,
fucking
man.
cool.
Having
I'm
Jay
gonna
on the
embrace
show
tradition and just steal.
It was so cool having you on the show, man, because you like
Yeah,
you're on point with the history and the archaeology and the religion, you know, dude.
Dude, come back on. You're
Dude,
a fucking
come back
that's
on.
it, man. You just fucking
How do you guys want to do that movie Jay said, The First King? And we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, let me write that down.
Yeah,
I think it's only an hour and a half, 2 hours long.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
about as long as I can
let's
take.
just do that because I'm really feeling this ancient Rome vibe.
Yeah. But don't
What
watch it
should
when
we,
you're sleepy because you have to read the subtitles.
That's cool.
All right. So with that being said, now's the part of the show where we remind you that it's on Indiegogo. The link's in the description.
I just bought mine. I don't know how I missed that, but I just got my whatever deal on your Kickstarter. I got the $45 version.
There you go.
Damn, nice one,
Yeah.
Nick. Thank you very much.
Dude, I'm here for you. You guys, if like Ben's talking about, if you haven't checked it out, dude, it's high.
Be sure to put some sweeties in your bag for you.
I want you to draw a nude of yourself.
Why draw it when I can just take photos?
So here's the Rokon Indiegogo link in the comments if you want to do that. And then here's the Immortal Asadi if you want to do that.
Issue 2's introduction.
And Jay, do you want to plug anything or let anybody know about anything you're working on?
Hopefully I'll start my channel again soon. One of my strikes is gone, so now I'm down to one strike because I found out they expire. But I almost lost my Gmail account because of my videos. So
that's how you know they're
stop
good.
posting. Yeah, so one's gone, so I'll start posting now. And I had Matt finish up my icon.
Sick.
Well, any rebel against the technocratic psyop is a friend of mine. So you're welcome anytime, Jay. We'll do this next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Jay.
Yeah. You rock, Jay. You had a lot of cool things to say. We like you a lot. What else, you guys?
Just gonna send it.
Oh my fuck.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
All right.
See ya.
Bye bye.
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 As we've just seen, drugs make your problems go away. So make it the best day possible. Remember, it's drugs that counts. Take one and take a chance.
Saturday morning cartoons, mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.